Hey lovelies, it is I, Annette White, and welcome to our Zanzibar adventure. We are all set and ready to explore this amazing place, and of course, we are inviting you to join us on this journey. So come along and let us dive right into day one of activities in Zanzibar. After taking breakfast, we went straight to Stone Town, which is an hour's drive from the hotel we were staying in, and we went straight to the beach. We were waiting to hop onto a boat to visit Prison Island, and my daughter was already in her element collecting seashells as we waited for the boat. Then the boat arrived. It was a motorboat operated by a friendly local man who seemed to know the waters like the back of his hand, which is a good thing. It meant we were not going to get lost in the waters. And we started our ride to Prison Island, and it was a bumpy ride, I'm telling you. About a 5-minute trip from Stone Town to Prison Island. And the way Zanzibar is hot. Honestly, not even the splashes from the ocean water were helping to cool us down. But hey, what can you do? It's all part of the experience. And we finally arrived at Prison Island, and wow, the place is absolutely gorgeous. The waters were crystal clear and the view was absolutely breathtaking. Of course, we had to do the tourist thing and take some photos. You can't come all the way here and not capture the beauty. And can we take a moment to appreciate our outfits? Our outfits were on point. What? Anyway, a little picture here, a little pose there, and we were ready to start our tour at Prison Island. Now, upon arrival, we were met by our guide who was incredibly knowledgeable about the island's history. And the first stop was the tortoise sanctuary. And let me tell you, these animals are huge. The tortoises are so big, and some are over 100 years old. Some even taller than I am. Look at that. Look at how huge that thing is. And the ages are written at the back. So if you want to know how old one is, you just look at the back written in white. And we made a stop at the peacock area, the peacock that just roam the place. And it's full of these beautiful creatures that are just amazing, adding to the charm and natural beauty of the island. Then we went along to where the small tortoise or the baby tortoise are. We got to see them and we learned a few things about the baby tortoise. They're kept in a safe and closed area to protect them from being harmed because they're very gentle and they're very soft when they are young. And the other reason is to protect them from being stolen by tourists. And I completely understand that because at one point my daughter was already asking if we could take one home. So yes, they are protected from us tourists and from any other harm that might come to them. And this place is just beautiful and the wildlife is just amazing to look at. Next, we took a scenic walk to the actual prison area. We were headed to the dock where the slave trade happened. And this part of the island has such a unique atmosphere, and the history behind it is really moving. And the path towards that area is so picturesque, we just had to stop and take a photo because it's the tourist thing to do. And we got to what is now the prison restaurant. And here we learned that prisoners were once brought here by ship during the slave trade era. This was centuries ago, of course, but the remnants of that dark history are still here. And our guide gave us a detailed explanation of what the buildings were used for. Though, honestly, if you want more details, just make Google your best friend because my memory is a bit fuzzy. We toured a few different rooms within the prison area, including the prison bar, which was simple but cozy, though I'm not sure if it's operational anymore. I can't remember, but I think it is. I don't know, I'm not sure. Again, make Google your friend. Then there was a bookshop, and then we found the souvenir store. But before that, I had to grab a photo by the dock because that entryway was just begging for a photo. What? One thing about me, I will take photos. What? That's a constant. Anyway, moving along. This is the dock. This is where the ships would dock to bring in slaves or take them away. And it's hard to believe that such a beautiful place was once the site of such tragic events. But that's history, and it is important to remember history. And of course, we took more photos because that's what we do as tourists. After that, we visited a Kikoi workshop area with some ancient looking machines. And the information is there. I did not bother to read about it. But the last time I saw such a machine was in a storybook called Rumpelstiltskin. Can you guys remember such a storybook of a little guy who turned straw into thread and blackmailed a princess? Anyway, all the information about that workshop is available in the museum. I did not go to check please, my work was just to be a cute tourist. Anyway, we finally made it to the souvenir shop where there were so many cute things to just take away, but we only chose 2 fridge magnets, of course, to just remind us of our trip to Zanzibar. And that was the end of the tour and time to head back to Stone Town. Our boatman had been waiting for us the whole time, and we got back to the motorboat to head back to Stone Town. And the ride was still as bumpy as before, but honestly, how often does a Kenyan lady and her daughter get to experience a boat ride like this? Not often, right? We embraced every second of it. My fedora hat and glasses almost flew off, but we made it back to the shore in one piece and ready for the next adventure. And our next adventure was touring the town, and we started with Forodhani. Now, Forodhani is a market, but it has this part where you have the Forodhani divers and you take a video with them, and they make it so exciting. They call out your name and they welcome you to Zanzibar, and they do that little dive, and it's so exciting and funny. This is literally a ritual. If you come to Zanzibar, you have to stop by the Forodhani divers and do a little video. Yeah. So if you happen to be in Zanzibar, go do a video with these guys and leave them a tip. They just make it a bit more fun. After the excitement with the Forodhani divers, we went to the old fort. This place has so much history of the town, and our guide was able to explain a few things. I can't remember everything, but what I can remember is the place is now used as a market for curios, where tourists come and buy all this cute stuff from the locals. But before that, centuries back, it was used as an entertainment arena. Most of the entertainment would come from the prisoners or slaves, and so there were guards up there to just make sure no one tries to escape and just survey the whole area. And for the people who were being entertained, they would sit on these concrete benches and just watch their entertainment. It's a very sad story, it's a very sad history, but it's also a very beautiful place. So we took a few photos to just, remember the place. And then the open area, I can't remember much of what was going on there, but Google if you want to know more. The next stop was the Freddie Mercury house. Freddie Mercury was a very famous musician who I think is British, but also Tanzanian, or was born there. So they have an attachment to the guy, and it's a tourist spot. So if you want to know more about the guy, again, make Google your friend. Then we got to know more about the oldest building, the church. It's a Catholic church, and it holds a lot of people. I don't know the exact number. And yeah, the last tour was within the market area of the town, and there was so much beautiful art going on. And I love the Swahili vibe of this area. It's sort of like being in Mombasa. I don't know. That's what I feel. And the doors are just beautiful. The last time I was here, I took photos of the doors, and I would still do the same because I appreciate how they look and the feel of it. And just look at that art. Very, very beautiful. So much art within the city, so much talent. And this stood out for me. I loved this realistic art. This is pure talent. I loved this. I did not even know what to do with it. But if you ever find yourself in Zanzibar and you want to just purchase this piece of art, there is the contact right there. And find the guy and get yourself some good work when it comes to the art. And we were done with our trip. We were done with our tour for the day. We went back to the hotel, had a swim at the ocean, and in time for dinner, and relaxed at our room. And that was it. That was end of day 1 activities in Zanzibar. Thank you guys so much. Tell me what you think about the whole trip, and see you in the next video.